allows us to lose ourselves and find ourselves at the same time. Lose yourself as you immerse your mind in the process of creation, and find yourselves as you discover your heritage in the process of exploration. As a Chinese living aboard, I'm drawn to exploring my cultural heritage. I'm especially drawn by its paintings. To the Chinese, paintings aren't just about portraying a subject. It's a manifestation of cultural lives and ideas. The aim of a traditional Chinese painter was not to capture how subject looked, but its inner essence as well. Its energy, its life force, and its spirit. Some of you might be familiar with this kind of ink and wash painting. Chinese paintings include a variety of art forms. It first appeared in China on paper during the Tang Dynasty, between the 7th to 10th century, and thrived throughout the Song Dynasty, which ruled between the 10th to 13th century. The biggest difference between Chinese paintings and other paintings is that Chinese paintings belong to the literary paintings. That is to say, it has added poetry and the concept of penmanship. Art has a capacity to draw people to itself, and humans cannot resist the lure by meaningful art. Even if they don't understand the elements, they are enchanted by it. And as a second grader, I was enchanted by such an art. Mom and I were on our way home. We passed an art studio and just decided to drop in. I saw a lot of paintings on the walls. There were also class in progress as well, where I saw kids just like myself, heads down, focused on their strokes, brushes dipping to colored plates and pots. And with each stroke, beauty emerged. I was so fascinated and drawn to this art form. I immediately asked my mom to enroll me in the trial class. The instructor was so kind-hearted that I couldn't wait to start. We started by painting grapes, cherries, mushrooms, then progressed to simple flowers. And over time, I could paint bamboos, more complex flowers, birds, and chickens. Painting brings me joy. It brings me happiness. It is so meditative that it brings me peace and calm, especially when I'm overwhelmed with school and homework. When school was in session, I could only attend art class once a week. However, over summer and winter breaks, I was allowed to spend as much time in my art school that it became my second home. Chinese paintings often depicted landscapes, trees, animals, flowers, and human characters. This is a Chinese lotus painting that I've been working on, and I will be finishing it today, right here in front of you. This is a traditional Chinese rice paper that I've been using. It is soft, flexible, and has a smooth surface. This is actually a smaller painting that I'm finishing. I've actually done scrolls that are about 2 meters in length. Yes, even taller than myself. Beneath the rice paper, I use a thick felt to absorb any ink, so the colors will be absorbed and wouldn't bleed into the rest of the paper. It also protects the table. I prepare the ink I will use. In this case, I'm using black ink for painting the stamen and signing my name. For convenience, I usually use bottled ink. However, the traditional way is to use a traditional ink block, such as the one I'm using here. I also have my brushes. They're made from wolf and sheep hair. And while I have about 20 brushes, you need about 4 to 6 to do this painting. I started off with the bigger and broader strokes with the thicker brushes. And now I'm just finishing it off with the smaller brushes to paint the stamen. The painting is now done, and I am about to sign it with my name and date it. I also have my stamps. They're my name in Chinese. Some people have 2 stamps for their names, their first name and their last name. Mine is combined. We also use other stamps that mean certain value. Something like kindness, respect, friendships. The one I'm using is called 真知, which means true value. The red ink pad we use is made from red cinnabar, also known as 朱砂 in Mandarin, a mineral formed in shallow depths of the earth. It's also used in traditional Chinese medicine to detoxify your body and calm your mind. People back in the days believed that spirits could enter the painting, and it may inhabit the human characters and houses depicted in them. And it is for this reason that we use red cinnabar to stamp it, to ward off evil spirits. There is a famous phrase in Chinese that's used to describe the lotus flower, 出淤泥而不染, which literally means out of the mud, but not dirty or stained. It also symbolizes noble ethics and integrity. Chinese painting is the way that I connect to my heritage. And through this lotus, I hope to embody the energy, its spirit, and its life force of its symbolic meaning. You may be an artist, an art student, or may be enchanted by art, as once I was. Learning and appreciating art is a wonderful way to expand your imagination, stimulate your creativity, and, of course, to discover your heritage. The Chinese way of appreciating art is often expressed by the words 读画, which means to read a painting. So, how exactly do you do that? You can read a Chinese painting by studying its bold and daring, or delicate and graceful strokes, by having a sense of its energy, its life force, its spirit, and by asking yourself what feelings it evokes. And it's through these readings that its meanings are slowly revealed. Thank you.